From Ronaldo seducing refs, to Oscar-winning flops, to one team even hiring a hitman. These are the 20 most controversial moments in football history. And first, Man City took on Tottenham on December 3rd, 2023. With Arsenal at the top of the Premier League ahead of Man City, a win would be crucial. So Tottenham was hungry for a dub after losing 3 consecutive games.
Brennan Johnson's in the middle. Son will go it alone and score early. On it goes to Haaland. Haaland, Grealish! City 3, Spurs 2!
Everything seemed to be going well until disaster struck.
Brennan Johnson in towards Richarlison. Kulusevski! What a header! 90th minute! Cross comes in and it's still kept alive, but now they've lost it. And Rodri plays it to Haaland. Oh, dreadful challenge. Gets away with it because Haaland kept the ball. And on it goes to Grealish. And Grealish is down the middle. And the referee has blown his whistle. Oh my word. What a shocker.
Dude literally waved the play on and blew his whistle shortly after. The call was fine. It was just that he had flip-flopped. Clearly he had some money on a draw.
Why has the referee not told anybody, told us, why he blew his whistle?
Well, I suppose, that's not the conversation to be had now. The conversation to be had now is a player has reacted the way that he has. Why have you put a caveat at the end of your argument that it's okay for them to act the way they did because it was such a bad decision?
I said that Haaland and Kovacic and anybody else puts their hands on a referee, they deserve all they get. You're going to tell me we expect football players, when the referee has the most horrendous decision, we're expecting everybody to go, well, it's unfortunate, he's made a mistake, and I'm going to keep out the road.
That's pretty bad, but I feel even worse for Wayne Bridge, because one second he's dapping up his teammate, and the next, his teammate is sliding in his girlfriend's DMs. See, Bridge was a Chelsea footballer from England, signed for a $7 million fee, and had proved to be vital to them when he scored a late goal that knocked Arsenal out of the Champions League.
Wayne Bridge can win it! He has! It's in! It's Chelsea's night! It's Wayne Bridge! With just 3 minutes left to play!
He had a slow start, but he was finally starting to become a top option. While Bridge was rising, he went to a nightclub in London and met aspiring model Vanessa Purancell. It might not be the best place to meet someone you want to date, but they did it anyway. Then they both became close friends with another footballer named John Terry. He had grown up in relative poverty, but quickly rose to become the captain of England and of Chelsea. With the quick success, Terry started to get an ego. His players were scared of him, and they wouldn't even make jokes about him. Bridge was pretty much his only close friend on the team, but Vanessa and Bridge split up after 5 years of dating. Terry started visiting Vanessa at their home, only a couple weeks after they had broken up. And so rumors quickly surfaced saying that they were having an affair. John Terry also had a wife at the time, so he had also cheated on her. Terry never spoke about it, but Bridge's ex-girlfriend did, and it made Bridge and Terry's football relationship hella awkward. However, Bridge had left Chelsea for Man City already, but he also decided to leave the England national team.
He's released a statement via his lawyers to say his position in the England squad has become untenable and potentially divisive, and has therefore quit.
And then shortly, John Terry was removed as captain of England and of Chelsea. This caused a rift in English players, making them each want to take a side. However, Wayne Rooney didn't seem to care what Bridge did.
No, to be honest, that's none of my business, so it's not for me to talk to him over that.
For a guy who's cheated on his wife multiple times, Rooney doesn't seem to have any good insight. So when Terry and Bridge finally met on the pitch for the first time, Bridge completely disrespected him.
And in particular those two. No handshake or even a glance between John Terry and Wayne Bridge.
Yikes. But I don't blame him. I do blame Kurt Zuma, because he did something even worse than John Terry. See, in a viral Snapchat video taken by his brother, Zuma was caught harming everyone's favorite pet.
In the case of Kurt Zuma, it was the kicking of the cat in the abdomen and slapping it in the head.
And the fact he treats his cat like that, and his brother's filming it, and he thinks it's all okay, that is really upsets me, actually.
But karma did eventually catch up with Zuma, because not only was he fined over £8,000, he was sentenced to 180 weeks of community service. And at his first game back, the away crowd wouldn't let him live it down. When one of his teammates was asked about it, he really made himself look like a clown.
I don't agree with what he's done at all. But there's people that's convicted, been caught for racism, and has played football afterwards. They got punished, they got eight game punishment or stuff like that. But people are now calling for people to be sacked, for them to lose their livelihood. I've just got to ask this question to everyone out there, is what he's done worse than what the people have done that are convicted for racism?
Whoever was running the PR for West Ham was definitely having a meltdown. Just like the whole country of England had a meltdown during the 2006 World Cup. Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo were teammates and close friends at Manchester United. But at the World Cup, that would all come crashing down. So when Rooney lost his head and tried to squash Cavello's family jewels, Ronaldo had to step in.
Battling, so dogged. Finally, there is a whistle. Cavallo hit with a foul here.
He's not doing anything, look. It's not until Ronaldo or anyone comes in and tells them. I mean, still, look, there you go. The ref looks at it.
Sent off for that, Al. Please tell me no.
I don't know.
Then look at this.
Look at that. Is he just winked there? I don't know, but...
That literally made Ronaldo the most hated player in England. His next game there, the fans made sure he heard it.
Ronaldo keeps it in. Nearly ball to Fletcher. Ronaldo come inside. He pulled that one as well, but he's got the right idea in these conditions.
Rooney wants English fans to shut the up, though.
I said, don't worry about it. I would have done exactly the same thing. When you're playing England v Portugal, he's a rival.
I don't think anyone else would have done something as disgusting as Frank Rijkaard did after challenging Rudi Voller. It was the 1990 World Cup, the Netherlands versus West Germany. Since Nazi Germany occupied the Netherlands during World War II, they had an insane rivalry. Many Dutch citizens still hated their guts, and they lost to West Germany in the 1974 World Cup final.
Following a little playground spat, Rijkaard came back with a spit.
Did he spit at Voller as he ran past? Was that my imagination? Let's hope so.
What's even worse than spitting at someone in the World Cup is straight up cheating. France and Ireland went up against each other in a do-or-die World Cup qualifier. France had won the first leg in Dublin, and now Ireland had to win this. Ireland played well, and it was 1-1 by the end of regular time, pushing the match into extra time. It caused one of the most controversial moments of football history.
Richard Dunn lost out. Oh, Henry! Oh, it's in the net! It's a goal!
The Irish players are appealing for a handball here. Now, is it control with the hand? I think Paul McShane should have dealt with it, George.
It was certainly a handball. He almost caught her and brought it back into play and put it across. So, of course, your reaction would be, yeah, you do feel cheated.
But then after that, the abuse that I got, I received letters, death threats. My daughter had to go to school with a bodyguard for 2 weeks because I was scared. We know where you live. I was in Barcelona, don't get me wrong, but my daughter was still here.
That is terrible.
The Irish Football Association had been planning to embark on legal action against FIFA over their controversial failure to qualify. Now FIFA, under fire from all sides, is openly admitting that they paid the Irish Football Association for its silence. €5 million, in fact, according to Irish media. The cash initially took the form of a loan, which FIFA admits was paid to put an end to any claims against FIFA.
Wait, you let me hold $5 million? FIFA? Please? However, Sir Alex Ferguson doesn't need any money, but he should have bought the respect of Arsenal. Because Cesc Fabregas did something in the locker room that will be a part of football history forever. Arsenal had just lost their 49 unbeaten streak to Manchester United. So things got heated when they met in the tunnel on the way to the locker room. And that's where players and staff from both teams went at it. They started yelling at each other. Then shit hit the fan. Fabregas grabbed the first thing he could find to throw, a slice of pizza, and chucked it into the Man United crew.
Was it like a sly one?
By the way, Martin Keown is a liar because I saw him in front of me just punching people on the... He didn't see anything. And I saw all of a sudden, bing, bing, bing. I heard noises like, what's happening, what's happening? Then I go out with my slice of pizza and I see Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, Martin Keown, everyone boom, boom, pushing each other, Vieira. And I was like, I went to get in and then I didn't know how to. And I phew.
The Italian Grosso just walked into him. Won't even mention that dude was just laying there. Cristiano Ronaldo's name is usually mentioned next to Manchester United, until he was betrayed. In 2021, he left Juventus to rejoin Man United after being away from them for over a decade. He came into an absolute show. 3 managers had come and gone. Erik ten Hag took over as the permanent manager. So when he came in, Ronaldo played a lot less. He sat on the bench, and this really pissed Ronaldo off. And finally, Ronaldo came out with a bombshell of an interview.
I'm not hiding that the empathy with the coach is not good. I'm honest.
You don't have a good relationship with him?
I'm not mean good relationship. The empathy is not good, let's say.
Do you think he respects you?
I think you don't respect the way I should deserve.
Against Manchester City, where United got destroyed, he didn't bring you on. He brought on other strikers, but didn't bring you on. I felt insulted on your behalf. I was like, well, surely against Manchester City, if you're losing this badly and you've got the greatest player of all time sitting there, you at least give him some time, don't you? But he didn't. And he said afterwards, the reason was he had too much respect for you, wanted to respect you. When you heard him say that, what did you think?
Excuses. I see as excuses. Well, everyone know that.
Disrespecting you think?
Exactly. This is why I say I don't have respect for him, because he don't show me respect for me. This is why I like guys that they don't lie, they speak honest, they be frontal. And I'm not negotiate my morals. My morals always will be intact.
Shortly after that interview, Man United terminated his contract. He then joined Al Nassr, a club in Saudi Arabia, for $200 million a year. So without him, Man United is 6th in the Premier League. And honestly, I'd say Ronaldo came out on top. Argentina has come on top in the World Cup 3 times, but 1986 was the most controversial, because Diego Maradona broke the #1 rule of football. Maradona's initial response when asked about it was that the goal was made a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. And now, that's his legacy.
When I see the linesman running, I go out shouting goal, and I look behind me to see whether the referee took the bait, and he hadn't. So that was it.
Whereas the boot of God changed David Beckham's life. After a 2-0 FA Cup defeat at Arsenal, Sir Alex Ferguson was fuming. He started screaming at the players, but aimed most of it at Becks. He kicked the bag and a boot launched out of it and hit Beckham right in the face.
First and foremost, I have to stress this, and I've stressed this over my 29 years as a coach. Whatever happens in the dressing room is sacrosanct. There's no way I could ever betray the trust of the players. And contrary to all the pro reports, David did not have 2 stitches put in his head, he had no stitches. So it was a graze, and it's dealt with by the doctor, with no problem. And we move on. And that's all there is to be said for it.
Beckham wasn't faking it when he got mad and left United for Real Madrid. However, Rivaldo was definitely acting in the World Cup opener versus Turkey. And it's hilarious.
It is a red card.
I don't really know why he thought that was a good idea, but I do understand why Justin Fashanu wanted to come out openly as the first gay footballer. He was already one of a few.
When he signed for Norwich as a teenager, he was also different because he was black.
The thing that spurs me on is the fact that I am playing for black people who maybe have not had as good a life as I've had, who have been living in the ghettos.
Fashanu. Oh, what a goal! Oh, that's a magnificent goal! As the crowd applaud, surely one...
Justin, on behalf of Match of the Day, my very great pleasure to present you with this marvellous silver salver for scoring the goal of the season.
Thank you.
On the strength of that goal, he became the first £1 million black player and moved to Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest.
When he transferred, he didn't play well at Nottingham Forest, so rumours started to circulate.
It's very clear that Brian Clough's homophobia, the constant ribbing and ridiculing, did have a very damaging psychological effect upon him. At first, Justin laughed it off, but after this went on for weeks and months, it really did begin to get to him.
Then he was transferred to smaller clubs like Notts County, where he had different levels of success. But wherever he went, he was followed by hate and rumours.
Of course there is, or certainly was, in the world of football, a very homophobic atmosphere. And so for a gay player to be in that midst, whether he'd come out openly or not by then, or was still the subject of rumour, it was a misfit, really.
After he came out, he got countless hate letters and other discrimination. So to leave the limelight, he went to America to teach football. But he was falsely accused of sexual assault on one of his fellow teammates while he was there. Ultimately, the pressure and hate caused Justin to unfortunately take his own life. You really never know what someone might be going through. But Eric Cantona doesn't really care, because he literally sent a fan into the heavens.
The Croydon magistrate sentenced Eric Cantona to 2 weeks in jail for his assault on the Crystal Palace supporter.
Cantona arrived at court this morning knowing he'd either be free or in prison by tonight. Fans who travelled from Manchester were there to support their hero.
I mean, he really didn't give a f***. I honestly think more fans deserve to be kicked sometimes. And refs too. Especially when there was a mass scandal surrounding refs in Italian clubs like Juventus. In May 2006, Italian police discovered a network of phone calls where top league officials and club executives had been selecting favorable referees for their matches. If the ref had made beneficial decisions in the past, they would try to get them booked for an AC Milan or a Juventus game, or really any other Italian team. All teams involved received point deductions, and Juventus was stripped of their 2005 and 2006 Series A titles. Plus, they were relegated to Serie B for the first time in their history. Also, for the first time in history, FIFA made an actual good change because of this goal that Frank Lampard kicked in the 2010 World Cup.
That's a lovely touch. Lampard! That surely crossed the line.
That is actually stupid.
I saw it bounce and bounce out, so it was very frustrating. Yeah, and it's very easy to draw a line over that game and say Germany absolutely, beat us comfortably. That would have made it 2-2 going into half-time. I hit the bar in the second half on a free kick. We had about a 15-20 minute spell where we were pushing, and then it went 3-1, game over. But it would certainly have changed the game.
It's honestly crazy that he wasn't pissed. Zidane was definitely pissed during the World Cup.
What happened here? Oh, goodness me. Goodness me! Zinedine Zidane just plants one into the chest of Marco Materazzi. The referee cannot have seen that.
What was the reason that Zidane did that?
You live in America, right?
Yeah.
You know the NBA?
Yeah.
Trash talking?
Yeah, of course.
My trash talking was...
nothing, very minimal.
Nothing
Yeah.
compared to the trash talking.
They love that in the US though.
Yes. He offered me his jersey.
Yeah.
I say, no, I prefer your sister.
Yeah, if anybody talks about my mom or sister like that, I'm probably gonna do the same. But I don't think I'd do what happened to Andre Escobar, because that's seriously f***ed up. He made a goal on his own net to eliminate Colombia from the World Cup. His country, Colombia, had already been one of the epicenters for drug cartels, with Pablo Escobar just recently murdered there. And it was no secret that drug money had infiltrated football, with cartels betting tons of cash on the matches. So when Escobar failed them, they didn't take it lightly. When he returned to Colombia from the World Cup, he was confronted and shot in a bar outside of Medellin. The shooter reportedly shouted goal after each shot. Holy shit. Yeah, that's not cool. And I think this goes to show you that football has never been just a sport. But Suarez definitely thinks it is, because he was chill with cheating in the 2010 World Cup.
It's going to get the flick in, and Muslera, cleared on the line. The referee's assistant is flagging.
Uruguay ended up winning on pens. It was an obvious handball, but Suarez is still a hard ass about it.
I don't apologize about that, because I take the handball, the ball, but the Ghana player missed a penalty, not me. Maybe I can say apologize if I take a tackle, take injury the player, and take a red card. Maybe I can say apologize. But in this situation, I take a red card, the ref say penalty. It's not my fault, because I don't miss the penalty.
I mean, that's pretty low, but not as low as doping. Diego Maradona was tested for drugs in the 1994 World Cup. He was a legend in Argentina, and they wouldn't be contenders without him. Just shortly before his test, he had been banned 15 months for cocaine. Unfortunately, he tested positive for ephedrine and was ultimately banned from the World Cup.
Analysis of the urine sample have proved to be positive. The player Diego Maradona of the Argentinian national team has therefore violated the provisions of the doping control regulations in the match Argentina-Nigeria. The Argentina Football Association has informed this morning the FIFA organizing committee that Diego Armando Maradona has been withdrawn from the World Cup, and until the case is finally settled, Diego Maradona remains suspended from all footballing activity.
A sad ending of a career for an incredible player.